Hello everyone. This video is dedicated to Organizer, mainly Organizer from iRacing League and Precision Racing League. I'm gonna show you how to update the result using the CSV file of the result of iRacing. So let's start it. What we need to enter, if I'm going into the result sheet first, I'm gonna fill up all the section at the top of the result sheet. So this section, the first cell here, you can double click on it and you will have the list of all the circuit. So I'm gonna today update the result for the American Thursday series. So they ran at Nürburgring, so I just need to start typing the name of the track and then I'm gonna find it right there. Now about the date, you only have to double click the K1 cell and you will have the calendar that will appear. So the race was on January 25th. Now the number of lap. To see the number of lap, I'm gonna open the result sheet. So I'm going into the iRacing forum. I'm going into league directory. I'm going into Precision Racing League. And if we go under race season, I'm gonna find the American Thursday series. And it was Nürburgring, and you only click on the result. Now we can see that the winner of the race complete 27 laps, so it was a 27 lap race. 27. For our racing, it's quite easy because the weather is always dry. So you only have to select dry for the qualifying weather and the race. Now we need to fill up the qualifying section. We're gonna first start by downloading the result in CSV. I'm going into the event result window. And we need to download the race and the qualifying result. So I'm gonna start with the qualifying. So we only need to click on output CSV and save it on your computer. And usually I like to name it in another name. So I just click on the one that I already have and the system will ask me to replace it. So I'm gonna replace it. And I'm doing the same thing for the race. Now what we need to do first, what I'm doing first, is to calculate the total time gap. This is, I think, the hardest part of updating the result. We need to first go on the result sheet, the result window, and we need to click on laps on the winner. And it will show you all the lap of the winner. So what we're gonna do is to calculate all this column to see the total race time. So we need to select everything in the table, even the number, driver, time, everything. We don't need to select the Nürburgring Grand Prix. We don't need to select that. So I just need that part. And I'm doing Control C to copy. I'm going into an Excel sheet in the blank workbook. And I'm doing Control V. So I have everything I want. I don't need the column A, B, and D, so I can select it by pressing on Control. If you press on Control, you can select more than the column. Right click and delete. It's not working because I have a cell selected. So I'm gonna start again. A, C, A, B, D. Right click, delete. Now I have only the time. What I need to do is to change the format, because if you notice there's a merge cell, so we don't need that. So I'm gonna use it's very important when you update the result. It's always use this format: HH 2.mm 2.ss millisecond. And I press enter, and if you look, Microsoft Excel automatically changed my format. So I'm gonna change it back to the one I want. So you only have to right click on this cell, go into format cell, and then you can customize the format of the cell. So here I'm gonna click here and type HH 2.mn 2.ss.000 and click on OK. Now we have the format that we want. You only have to right click on that cell, copy, and now we will paste this format for the column A. So I right click on the column, paste special, and I'm gonna select format. I only need to copy the format. I don't want to copy the value, only the format. Okay. Now you can enlarge the column to see everything. Now we need to calculate the total race time. So you go at the bottom on the first empty cell after the last lap, and you click on that cell, maintain your click, and select everything. Not the we don't need the beginning. You select everything until the first counted lap. And once done, you click on auto sum, and we have the total race time right here. So what we need to do is to select that total race time, right click, copy. I'm going into the result Google Sheet, right click on the time gap, and it's the same thing. It's important to not just paste, because if I just paste, it's gonna paste the format, everything, and we lost the background color and everything. So it's really important to right click, paste special, value only. We only need the value. So it's done for the time and gap, the total race time. Now I'm gonna update the qualifying section. So I'm going back into Excel, and to open a CSV file, you click on Data, and you click on From Text CSV. And I'm gonna browse on my computer to get the file. So the quality.csv file that I've downloaded previously. Then I click on Import. Now what's extremely important is to have the right delimiter. So maybe you may have a different version. I think my version it's quite up to date. I'm using, I think, Office 365. It's important to have the comma delimiter. And once done, you click on Load. And it's gonna create a new sheet with all the data that we want. We can close that. Now we're gonna update the driver's column, so we only need to select the driver column, right click, copy, going back into the result sheet. Same thing, I'm gonna not just don't click on right click and paste. It's really important to use the paste special, value only. So we only have the value. If, for example, you have a new driver joining the series, so for example, if I was racing that race, I have not signed up for this championship, so I'm a new driver, and if you look, there's an invalid red triangle on the cell. So it means that the driver is not present in the roster tab. So the roster tab is always the section that we complete when a driver race. So usually the first time you will do the result for a season, it's always longer because you have to fit up all the driver name and the team and everything. So if I add my name, you'll notice that in the round 7 there is no red triangle. So it's really important to look at it. If we have a red triangle, it's because there's an invalid data. Maybe it's only the topography. So if it's only the topography of the driver, you can just click on the here, and then you have all the selection, and you can select the driver. Now I'm gonna delete my name. So if it was a pretty low attendance race, so what we can do is to hide some row, because you have some empty row and it's not looking good. So I always keep 1 to 3 empty row. So let's say that we keep position 1 to 12. I'm selecting row 16 to row 20, and then you can right click and hide row 16 to 23. It's really important to not delete the row, because if you delete the row, it's gonna mess up all the calculation that we have, all the formula that we have in the sheet for the driver championship, team records, everything. So it is really important to only hide. Now the time. You go back on the Excel sheet and we need the fastest lap time column. So if you notice, this is not the format that we want. Like I said previously, we need to have the HH2.mm2.ss2.000 format. So I'm gonna click on the first cell at the beginning and I'm gonna add 002.0. So now this is the format that I want. I'm gonna select that section because I need to paste it in every line. So it's sure that this one's going to be quick because we add only 9 driver, but if for example we have 30 driver, this is a longer part, but you will get used quickly. So we need to add this to all cell. So once done, this is not the format that we want. It's still not the format that we want, but now that we have added the value at the beginning of the cell, this is now a time format. So we just need to select all the time, right click, go into format cells, and now we will be able to add HH 2 dot and 00 at the end. Now we have the right format. We only need to copy the selection, go back into the result sheet, and paste special value only. And if you notice, the gap is calculated automatically. Now we need to do the same thing for the result section. I'm going back into Excel, the data tab, from text CSV, and I'm selecting the race.csv file. Again, it's really important to make sure that you have comma as a delimiter. Click on load, and it's gonna create a new sheet. So the name, it's pretty easy. We select the name, right click, copy, take a get a result sheet. I'm clicking here, right click, paste special, value only. And the team section is calculated is fill up automatically because of the roster tab. And if, for example, it's a multi-car series, we will have a column here for the car, and you will have here a column for the car. So it's always fill up automatically. So you always only have to copy paste the driver. Now we need to fill up the gap. I'm going back into Excel, and we have the gap in the interval column. We don't need the first one because it's the winner and we have added the total race time. What's important here is to add an apostrophe at the beginning of each cell, because if we are not doing that, Google Sheet will see it as you want to make a subtraction from another cell. So that's not what we want. So we add an apostrophe, and by adding an apostrophe, it makes that it's only the value. So I'm doing that for each cell. Now what I like to see, it's totally optional, but what I like to see is to see lap instead of L. So it's sure that for this one there's not a lot of driver, but if for example we are doing the result for novel series, there's a lot of driver who may be a lap down and more. So you need to select all the driver who are a lap down and more, and you press on Ctrl H on your keyboard. Now it will open the feature find and replace. So find what? We want to find L and replace by LAPS. And you click on replace all. So we have exactly the format that we want. It's only one lap, we can remove the S. Now that we have the right format, we select all the cell except the winner. Right click, copy, go on the result sheet and we select the time gap cell of the second driver, paste special, value only. That's done for the time gap. Fastest lap time is the same thing that what we did in the qualifying. So we have the fastest lap time column. So we need to add 00 2.0 to have the right format. I'm gonna select it, Control C, and I'm adding this data at the beginning of each cell. Now we need to select all the data, right click, format, and we're gonna adjust the format for the one that we want. HH2.mm2.ss.000. Now we need to copy the selection, paste it, and it's important to use only the value, paste special value. Now we can fill up the fastest driver. So it's sure that it's going to be easy for this one because we only have 9 drivers, so it's quite easy to see that Jefferson Padovani got the fastest lap. But if you have like 30 driver, what I usually do is I'm going back into the event result, and it's easy to see who got the fastest lap on the iRacing result because it's in bold and red. So it's Jefferson Padovani. So you only have to click here on fastest lap, and you have the driver list. You can select it from the driver list, or you can start typing the driver's name, and you have it appearing here. And the time is the race lap is calculated automatically. What I'm usually do, it's like I'm doing in the qualifying section. So I'm gonna put the fastest lap in bold and purple. Now we need to add the incident. It's very easy. Going back into Excel, and we have an incident column. So I'm selecting all of that, copy, paste special value. Now that it's done, I need to fill up the bottom section, all the bonus point, the fastest lap, pole position, everything. It is specific to iRacing. Other championship does not have this. So fastest lap time, it's Jefferson Padovani. Pole position, same guy. And now 3 incident and less. So which driver got 3 incident and less? So we have Jefferson. And William Lee 4. So now we need to add the bonus point. So if you have noticed previously, when you enter the driver section, the point is added automatically. So there's a mistake here because usually it's 17. I will fix it for the remaining tab. So Jefferson got 3 bonus points. 1, 2, 3. So his total point is 33 now. And after that, what I'm doing is to put this on bold and blue. I'm doing this because if a new member comes into our website and look at our result, they will notice that the results are not consistent. It's quite of weird. So they will probably wondering why a driver got his result in bold and blue, and they will be referring it to the bottom. And I have added the section in bold and blue. So this is the reason why I prefer to see it in bold and blue. And if, for example, you have to penalize a driver, for example, Danny got 2-point penalty, so I'm gonna just type 18 and I'm gonna put it in bold and red, and I'm gonna add the information in bold and red in this section. So I'm gonna return back to 20 because Danny's gonna be mad. And the other driver who got a bonus point, it's William Lee. 1 bonus point for clean erase. And again, I'm gonna put it in bold and blue. And that's it. The results are up to date. So you don't have to save it. So since it's on Google Drive, you only have to close the tab and it's saved automatically. The other step, second step, is I'm going into the result, standing, points, and records topic of your championship, and I'm going at the bottom, and I'm adding the information that I've updated the round 7 result. And the other important stuff that an organizer must do, it's already done for this championship, I think, but it's the attendance log. So you have this sheet shared to you. You click here at the bottom on all sheet, and you have the list of all championships. So you select your championship, and now I think Tyler already updated it, but you need to update the attendance log, and you have the Legion here, and you don't have to worry about the color. As soon as you enter U, it's gonna put green, and N is gonna put blue. So you only have to type if a driver was present or not. So this is the main duty of an organizer. If you have any question on how to update the result, or even if you have a quickest way, if you have a better method than me, please contact me in the organizer front topic or by a private message. It's true, I prefer to be contacted using the organizer topic, because all the organizer can see it, so it's more constructive if we all help each other like that. So thank you, and contact me if you have any question.